Hey guys, so in this video, we will show you our key trendline trading strategy that no one talks about. Make sure to click the subscribe button and to hit the notifications bell so that you know exactly when we release new content. So from looking at the comments, a topic that has been requested many times is how to draw and use trend lines effectively. Also right now, comment below and tell us what topics you want us to cover, as we always look at the comments to decide what to create next. So first, what are trend lines? A trend line is a line we draw on our charts that connects the swing highs and swing lows during a trending market. So here we have a clear downtrend. We have a run, a pullback, a run, a pullback, and a run. At the bottom of each run, before the pullback begins, this is what we call a swing low. At the top of each pullback, before a run begins, this is what we call a swing high. So what this means is, in an ideal downtrend, price will be making lower highs and lower lows. Now, a trend line is then applied to connect the swing highs along the top and swing lows along the bottom. So let's move on to an uptrend. Here we have a clear uptrend. We have a run, a pullback, a run, a pullback, and a run. At the top of each run, before the pullback begins, this is what we call a swing high. At the bottom of each pullback, before a run begins, this is what we call a swing low. So what this means is, in an ideal uptrend, price will be making higher highs and higher lows. Now a trend line is then applied to connect the swing highs along the top and swing lows along the bottom. Now this is an important point. Price won't always move this smoothly in trending markets, but we are showing you this as a reference to what an ideal trending price movement looks like. So, why exactly do we draw trend lines? The first reason is because trend lines can act as a form of support or resistance. Along the top, the trend line acted as resistance when price touched it, and along the bottom, the trend line acted as support when price touched it. Now you don't enter trades blindly just because price has touched a trend line. You always wait for price action in combination with other factors, which we will get into later in this video. Now the second reason we draw trend lines is because a break of a trend line can signal a possible trend change. So in a downtrend, we have our trend line placed above the trend. When price breaks this trend line, it can signal a possible trend change to an uptrend. Now, vice versa. In this moving uptrend, we have our trend line placed below the trend, and when price breaks this trend line, it can signal a possible trend change to a downtrend. So again, you have your moving uptrend, we have our trend line placed along the bottom of the uptrend. Once price breaks this trend line, it signals a possible trend change to a downtrend. And again, once this downtrend starts, we put a trend line above the moving downtrend, and once price breaks this trend line, it signals to us another possible trend change to an uptrend. Again, here were your trend lines. Before, you had your breaks and then trend changes. Now, this is a very important point. What we just showed you is what occurs in an ideal situation, but is not the law. You need to pair these trend line breaks or rejections with key price action factors before looking for a trade entry, which we will get into later in this video. So now that you know what trend lines are and why we apply them onto our charts, let's go through in depth how to draw trend lines effectively. So first, let's go through the concepts we follow when drawing trend lines. 1. You need a minimum of 2 touches to be able to draw a trend line. The more touches, the better, but more touches does not guarantee that it will hold the next time around. 2. Trends don't always move smoothly. They're often choppy and imperfect. 3. Treat trend lines as areas, meaning use them as guidance for your overall analysis, not the law. 4. Don't force trend lines. If they are obvious and help your overall analysis, draw them in. But if not, leave them out, because there won't always be suitable price movement where you can draw a trend line on it. So now let's start simple with what ideal, best case scenario trend lines will look like. Now here is your current moving downtrend. You click on your line drawing tool, start from past the first swing high, and drag the line down, connecting the 2 points. Also, make sure when you draw your trend line to have it extended further down. Because if price makes it back up to this trend line in the future, you want to have it ready there as a reminder to look. So here was your last trend line that would have been drawn before price broke the trend line. Now, if you want, you can also draw this longer term trend line along these higher points like this. So next, here's your moving downtrend. And again, we connect the swing highs along the top and the swing lows along the bottom.